What's up, YouTubers? It's me, Jhonny, here again. I got some comments on some of my videos, and I probably should have said this before. Sometimes when people leave comments on videos, they get flagged for some reason. And if it's spam or if it seems like it's obvious spam, I kind of get why that is. Sometimes I don't get I get comments segregated that I have to personally check them out. And I'm not sure why it is because they don't look like spam to me. So sometimes if I don't get back to your comment or I don't see it, it's because it's been segregated. And most of the time I'm not on my channel checking out comments. So that's why that is sometimes. But I did get a comment from Mr. Nigglebud. Sorry if I got your channel wrong. Damn, I wish I could get it right, Nigglebud. But it's an interesting YouTube channel. Probably just for me because I'm kind of a retard when it comes to growing stuff. He's an interesting character. Cat, dude is just interesting growing stuff. Anyways, what I wanted to say was I got his comment, and he was making a point about starting your own business that's not online, and it's just like, yes, that's so true. And then the other part, starting offline businesses in Latin America they can be great. And I would just say you don't have a lot of competition at least in Latin America. I can't speak for Asia. When I have been in Asia, people will copy your business right off the bat, usually within a year, maybe two. And they'll obviously see you have a nice, good profit margin, so they'll copy it. So you got to make your money fast when you're in places like Asia. Now, having said that, in Latin America, I have no idea why this is, but like you can run a profitable... Okay, I know a few people personally, and then I know a few people, I don't know them personally, but I know of their businesses. They do really, really well. They do really well. If I said how well they did, you just wouldn't believe me. You would say I'm full of shit. But I just know some people personally who do really, really well. And before COVID, they were doing gangbusters. And anyways, you would never make this kind of money in the States doing the same thing, but down here you can with I'm talking specifically brick and mortar businesses. Now, why it is that you can do so well down here and why it is people don't try to copy you or steal your business, I'll be honest, I don't know why that is. Just an example, an acquaintance of mine, I know actually two people who started, what do you call it? In the Philippines, they started those businesses where you talk on the phone. You know, what do they call them? Basically outsource phone calls to the Philippines or India for really super cheap. I forget what they call that. Yeah, I'm getting old. I can't remember half the shit that comes to my brain. Well, actually, I know a young man who's younger than me who does that. He started up a business like that. A call center, that's what it is. A freaking call center. Anyways, I know an older guy who started it up too, and he had his banking, I don't know how to put this, his banking compromised in the Philippines because he's banking there because he's making so much money, and a Philippine competitor figured out how to go through the government and get his banking and his contacts and his, let's just say, his email list compromised. And he almost got shut out. He had to figure out a way to get clients and get the banking offshore as opposed to not in the Philippines to run the business successfully. My point is just there's like, in Asia, they'll do every dirty trick in the book. I mean, if you're a Westerner, you'll think it's a dirty trick to them. It's just how you do business there. But they'll figure out every legal and non-legal way to steal your clients, to shut down your banking so you can't take clients, to stealing, let's say, just call it your email list, your list of clients, everything. Whether it's legal or not, they will do it, and you can settle in courts. And in the Philippines, that means 20 years down the road when you're already dead and gone. You won't win in court, but you'll get your day in court, or you'll get your day in court and you'll be an old man and you won't really care. That's why I mentioned it. Well, in Latin America, it's a little bit different. I still haven't figured out why. You can have a lot of foot traffic. You can have a business that appears to do well, and locals still, they won't copy you. I still don't get that. I really don't get it. Like, just an acquaintance of mine, one of his bottles, I won't say what his business is, but he uses the local shipping companies to ship his products. So he used to, previous to COVID, he had, a brick and mortar store And then he had an online store. You could order, the stuff from the brick and mortar business, have it delivered to anyone in Guatemala. He had 1 or 2 shipments stolen out of all of it. And he kind of cracked that code. He learned Facebook ads. He cracked that code that no one does down here, or very few people anyways. He cracked that code. He got them on, he used Facebook ads to get clients. They bought his product. He gets the product online through his online delivery system. He and his employees ship the product, and 1 or 2 products have been stolen over many, many years. So no matter how bad people say the local delivery system is for private mail, not public mail, but not a post office, but the private delivery service systems, it works actually pretty well. And I'm not sure how it's insured, but whether he's self-insured or not, I don't know, but he just made it up or whatever he did, or maybe it was insured. These are low-cost items that he has shipped. But out of thousands of things that he shipped, 1 or 2 has gone stolen. That's a really good, that is really excellent. But locals, they still don't trust the system, so they don't use it. So they don't put up online stores, so they don't ship stuff up online. And then on top of that, they don't even use Facebook ads. And because no one's using Facebook ads are super cheap in Latin America. Now, I can't speak to Mexico. I'm only talking about Central America. I'm talking about the C4 countries to be more specific. Anyways, Nagelbud made a comment on running a brick, well, basically, my understanding from what he said in his comment, a brick and mortar's business, or a business you're running day to day from your house or a rented place. That's a very excellent idea. And I would also say it's a high profit. Well, it can be a high profit margin business. And until Amazon and the big players like Walmart, until the bigger players like Amazon move in and close everything off, it will be an excellent way to do certain kinds of businesses. There'll be other niches you can always do, even if Amazon gets down here more into Central America, because they're already coming into Mexico. They're always squeezing people in Mexico already. But and as they get up a distribution system in Mexico, I imagine they're going to bring it to Guatemala. I was just telling one of my acquaintances he had to set up because he had before Corona somewhat of a distribution system that he might have been able to scale up and market to who knows who. I'll just think Amazon, stuff like that. Anyways, Nagelbud was leaving a comment like, you can come down here, get cheap rents. You can run a business out of your home, essentially. I don't even know if they have laws against it, but even if they did, they don't enforce them. I know in Central America, where I'm at most of the time, I don't even think they have laws, but if they do, they're never enforced. It's very common for people to run a business out of their home. Like they might live on, the second or third floor of the building, and then the lower level building, street level is where they run like a store or something, or a storefront or electronics shop, something of that nature. Well, I just want to make that point that he makes an excellent point. I keep forgetting to even bring it up, but there's a few other things I could say, but I don't want to say because who knows, other people might be doing these niches, but half of the niche I just gave away. If you understand what I'm saying and you can read between the lines. Even in the Philippines, people don't do Facebook. That shocks me still to this day. I hope that's changed. But anyways, things you would do in the U.S., people don't do down here. And if you can do those things for products and services down here, you can make a bundle. And with rents as cheap as they are, and if you're willing to go, I'm not saying this in a disparaging way, but if you're willing to go native, or if you're willing to negotiate, build up trust with people, you can get really, really super cheap rents. Now, if you're not willing to do that, this model may not work for you. But if you're willing to put in the hard work and negotiate, and to some extent, in my opinion, go native, you can get cheap rent. And you can set up, or you can test different businesses and different business models you have down here really cheap. And if you use a lot of American or European, so-called best practices down here, you can really, really sweep up the competition. As a matter of fact, one thing you can do, how I was saying in Asia, Asians will copy you and kind of gut out your business. Well, you can kind of do a different version of that, where you can see businesses that are not very well run down here set up something like your competitors doing, but do it much, much better. I won't get into it, but pizza is a popular thing here. And if you start an American or European style pizza place, and pizza ingredients for pizzas are super cheap. I know one entrepreneur did that. He started his pizzeria, so-called pizzeria, and then built it up into another business, which was more of a hotel business. But he used the profits from that to leverage into the hotel, et cetera, et cetera. But pizzas and the ingredients for pizza are really cheap. If you can put a European or American type, North American type flair on it, or unique thing that you do that locals can or don't want to do. And here's another thing: if it catches on, sometimes it won't catch on because sometimes people down here don't want American type things. But if you can mix and match and test different ideas, you'll see something catch and other things won't catch. But because rents are so low and labor so cheap, that you can, if you have even just a little bit of capital, like I mean, I don't know Nagelbud's personal situation all that much, but I imagine he didn't come down here with 100K or anything. Neither did I. Most people come down with maybe 5 or 10 grand if they're lucky. One of my other friends came down here with something like that and kind of ripped through that pretty fast. But you could come down here with a couple grand and make moves. If you have an online business that's just making $200 or $300, and you have another business or another way of earning income, at least for a while, to cover your expenses, and you can take your $200 or $300 and you can put that into products or things you need for your business to grow your business over time. You can kind of grow your business slowly and scale up the income. And you don't need a lot of income down here to survive. Like, I'll say something Retired Cheap Asia, who lives in Thailand, says, you can actually live in Asia. This is not politically correct to say, but you can live in Asia for $500 or $600 or $700. He and I both know people who live on $300 or $400, but people get so bent out of shape and angry and pissed off if I mention that. So I'm just saying some people can. Some people can have the time of their lives, live really, really cheap, and run their little business or their little side income, and it's enough. And they don't either they don't want to save anything, or they're living really cheap so they can save up money to build up a nest egg so they can have, a nest egg for medical emergencies, things like that, or if they want to go back home to the West. But some of the people I know who are living on $300, $400, $500, $600 a month, they don't want to go back. So that's why they're hustling. That's why they're having the time of their life, and that's why when they scale up that income, they put it away because they don't really want to come back. Anyways, I just want to point that out. Shout out to Nagelbud. You're right, 100% right. Like, I keep forgetting to even mention that in my videos. I don't really know why there's not people trying to compete with North Americans and Europeans when we start businesses. But like, if you start up a business with American kind of values, European kind of values, you would be shocked how many clients and customers you can get. And I mean, I'm a little surprised. I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised at the Mennonites. They clean up down here. Like, they charge higher prices than local prices. And locals are primarily their customers who buy their stuff. But if you have ideas and businesses you want to test and you don't have a lot of capital, you can come down here with rents so low. And if you need labor's so cheap. You know what I mean. It's very affordable, but if you don't even really need labor, you can just do your own thing. Things are so mellow here. If you actually want someone to run the shop for you, it doesn't cost that much. And you can, believe it or not, get a manager for $800 to $1,000, even less. But I'm just saying, like, if you get something going and you want to pay a premium for what locals pay as a manager, have them run the show, then you can jet around Latin America, wherever you'd like to do, and start another business or do whatever. Anyways, usually when you let your business go to a manager down here or a local employee, it usually goes to hell. So I want to mention that. But if you do find that right employee, it works. Well, it can work for a while at least. Anyways, I just want to, mention Nagelbud's comments, and they're spot on. Like if you have ideas and aspirations and passions to start something down here, that's one good reason to come down here. There's so little regulation. There's very little tax. And the locals don't care. And a lot of times, in my experience, they want you starting a business. They want your product or service. And for some reason, it seems like Latins won't or don't want to compete with you. I don't know why that is, because some of the foreigners I see do really, really well. I mentioned in the previous video kombucha. Like, I still get to, well, I won't say too much. I just know some people up on the lake selling kombucha. Now, I'm not saying the only thing they make money on is kombucha. I'm just saying I was amazed how much they sell a little cup of kombucha like my sister makes in somewhere in the Midwest of America. She makes that stuff. I love it. And if I told you how much they charge, you wouldn't believe me. And locals buy it. tourists buy it, expats buy it. It just shocks me sometimes the things people will buy. And if you have like a little shop, and you have some loss leaders, but you can sell beer and kombucha, you'd be surprised. You can make $300, $400, $500, $600 or $1,000 a month or more. Maybe not the whole year, but enough to get by and save a few bucks. And if that's your passion anyways, you're going to do it anyways. It's a nice little income earner, money spinner you can do down here. Anyways, there's like many more things I can mention. I don't want to get into it all, but some of the things you see, like I see the Mennonites and I see people come down and make kombucha, and I see like the things you can grow here. I don't want to get into it, but the things you can grow here, like in Guatemala, just at the different levels of the atmosphere, it's very fascinating, interesting. But anyways, like, share, leave a comment. Thank you.